Hello gorgeous peeps, welcome to TechSpurt. I'm Chris, aka Uncle Spurt. Currently about 60% coffee, 30% whiskey, and 10% sheer rage. And if you actually care about all of this tech bollocks, you'll know there was some pretty big shiz dropping this week, so no real time to mess around thinking up a decent intro or anything. Not that I'd be able to even if I did have time, so let's crack on. Jingle me! TechSpurt Weekly! Alright then, the big bonerific tech launch of the week was Samsung's S22 series, a trio of expensive rectangular slabs that boast the fresh Exynos 2200 chipset, upgraded camera tech, and the kind of price tag that ensures you'll be eating spam on toast for dinner for the next several months. Or actually no, probably just toast given the bloody price of spam these days, over £2 for a tiny tin in Tesco's. That noise. I'll just get my protein the same way my cats do by licking my own arse for 5 hours a day. Anyway, the S22 is a compact wee chap at 6.1 inches compared with the 6.6 inch Plus and the 6.8 inch Ultra, but they all boast a Gorilla Glass Victus design and dynamic AMOLED display. The standard S22 and the Plus model rock a fresh 50 megapixel primary camera, which is upgraded to a 108 megapixel sensor on the Ultra. The Plus and Ultra models also offer a bigger battery with 45 watt wide charging, while all three are powered by the Exynos 2200, which Samsung promises is beefier than a big bag of cow bits smothered in Bovril. But of course naturally, because three fresh new spangly flagship smartphones is barely adequate fare for a launch event, Samsung also chuffed out a trio of tablets. You got the Tab S8, the S8 Plus, and the S8 Ultra, and they all get progressively bigger, just like those S22 phones. And look, I'm going to be straight up with you here. It's late, I'm tired, I'm starting to smell kind of not good, and I'm also terrifyingly sober to boot, so we really do need to press on. So if you care about the tablets, here's some specs, feel free to screenshot and enjoy at your leisure. Okay, thanks. Now, if you have considerably less cash to spend on your next blower, you may well be tempted by Infinix's spangly new Zero 5G phone instead. This launched a day earlier, and it is a bloody massive 6.8 inch beast just like that S22 Ultra, but this time it runs off of MediaTek's Dimensity 900 chipset. Not quite as beefy as that Exynos, admittedly. We're maybe talking like a half-eaten Big Mac with a soggy OXO cube sat on top. But the gaming chops are rather good. You've got a 5000 mAh battery which can keep you going all day, and that Full HD IPS panel supports up to 120Hz refresh. And yeah, the 48 megapixel rear camera is a bit poo, but apart from that, this is a likeable budget blower. And if you happen to be intrigued, well, I've done a full unboxing of the Infinix Zero 5G right here on TechSpurt, so go check that out. And also this week, a shagload of Oppo Find X5 and Oppo Find X5 Pro details have leaked on that there internet. And if you're wondering, hey, wait, hang on a second, did I get so mind-bogglingly drunk that I just passed out and completely missed the launch of the Oppo Find X4 series? Well, no. Oppo is just skipping the whole Find X4 series entirely because of the whole bad luck vibes with the number 4, same reason we didn't get the OnePlus 4, for instance. According to these leaks, it looks like both the Find X5 and the spangly Pro model will sport a 50 megapixel primary sensor, while the Pro also rocks a 50 megapixel ultra-wide-angle shooter and a 13 megapixel telephoto lens with 5 times hybrid zoom. And both of these phones will use Oppo's Posho Marisilicon X NPU as launched last month. And get your tech pants buckled up tight because here's some proper geek chat coming right at your face. The Marisilicon X NPU, or MAZA to its mates, packs an impressive 18 TOPS of processing power and is capable of 20-bit Ultra HDR image processing and lossless RAW processing in real time. While according to Oppo, MAZA is also quite power efficient, so it won't guzzle your smartphone's battery. The Find X5 Pro should also run off the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset backed by 12 gigs of RAM, while the 5000 mAh battery supports 80 watt fast charging. And we should see the Find X5 and the Find X5 Pro pop up in some sort of official form later in February, hopefully pre-MWC, as Oppo's not actually going to be there. And that suits me just fine. More time for Estrella and Tapas. Huzzah! Anyway, that's all of the big news headlines for this week, so that means it's now unfortunately time for the part of the show that would even have Jason Statham blubbing home to mummy. It's viewer comments. Viewer comments! Alright, this week we're starting with Jay-Z or Jarzi, who says, as the channel progresses, have you considered getting some of your family members or your daughter to help out when it comes to making videos? Oh Christ, yes. The plan right now is basically when my daughter hits the age of about sort of 8 or 9, she'll hopefully be running the entire show, because she's basically a smaller but also smarter version of me with more hair. David says, hi Chris, if you find a window in your schedule next week, will you be watching any Winter Olympic shenanigans? No, sadly, bugger all time for TV this week between all the S22 shenanigans that was going on and all the stuff that I'm busy trying to cover for next week that's under embargo. Yeah, none of that, unfortunately. I was actually seriously considering keeping a piss bottle under the table just to save me the 20 seconds it would take me to walk to the toilet and back. And it sounds like the British team is doing about as well as usual anyway, despite the fact that it seems to be winter here about 9 months out of 12. The only bit of I've actually seen is the ice skating race one, whatever that's called, where they just skate really fast in a circle. And of course the British people just falling on their arse every 5 seconds. You know, they might have already been tanked up, you know, typical Brits abroad and all that, you know, off on a jolly for a week, you know, a few beers with breakfast. Next up, Tired David says, I just want a budget blower with wireless charging, a headphone jack and NFC. Is that too much to ask? The headphone jack and the NFC are definitely doable at a budget price, but the wireless charging, well, good luck with that. The only one I can think of at a budget sort of price that had wireless charging was the Nokia XR20, which I recently covered, but the rest of the phone wasn't particularly great. Next up, Ivan Jesus says, a headbanging cheers from Portugal. Ah, Portugal, how I adore ye. The last time I was there, I ordered a massive pile of chicken and ham at a restaurant, and then I also felt kind of guilty, like I should get some vitamins as well, so I ordered a little side salad, at least what I thought was a side salad, but when that came out, that was actually just another plate filled with yet more ham. And that was the very moment that I fell in love with Portugal. And yes, I felt like a massive sack of lard when I came home from that holiday, but goddamn, it was worth it. Jay says, hi from freezing f***ing cold Ontario, Canada. Just want to say you're the best tech channel on YouTube, and I bought the Pixel 6 on your recommendation, and I love it. Good to hear, Jay. And you've got to love those Canadian winters, that's for damn sure. Yeah, I do occasionally visit Canada, but always in the summer, try and avoid the, you know, the 6 feet of snow and minus 30-degree weather. So whenever I bitch and moan about it, you know, being a bit drizzly and, you know, 0 degrees here in the UK, you must get slightly annoyed by me whinging on. Never mind. Next up, Always Funko Pop Hunting Funko Pop Hunt. That's actually the full name, and it's I don't know what's going on there, but kudos. It says, what's your favorite phone that you use on a daily basis, and how come Genshin Impact is such a huge file to download? Well, on the first point, the favorite phone that I use in between reviews, well, I occasionally have a little gap in my schedule and I go back to the Pixel 6, to be honest, because I absolutely adore that thing, but there's going to be no gaps in my review schedule probably for the next several months now. There are several things stacked up in that cupboard that need a bit of love. And of course we've got MWC at the end of the month where we're going to have even more launching, so Jesus. And Genshin, yeah, it used to be more like 7 or 8 gigs when I first started using it to test out phones, but now it's ballooned to like 12 or 13 gigs, something like that, and I generally have to download it at least twice a week as well, which is bloody annoying. Because some friggin' PC games, absolutely mental. Next up, Husam says, there's a rumour that the Poco X4 Pro is going to use a Snapdragon 695, which sucks because the X3 Pro used a powerful Snapdragon 860 chipset. What's your take on that? I mean, that would be a rather strange move to shift down from the 800 series to the 600 series. And even though it was the older 860, you know, that would still be a backward step to the 695, which is a perfectly great chipset, can actually cope well with gaming and everything, but it's definitely not as good as the 860. So I don't know, that sounds a bit fishy to me. I can't actually see that happening, but you know, I've been proved wrong in the past, so we'll see what happens. Hajimoto says, imagine doing a review, unboxing or Techspert Weekly while bloody smashed. Now I want to see it happen. I mean, I'll let you in on a little secret, mate. I'm not always entirely sober when I do these videos. Although it kind of sounds like you're talking about me being so absolutely wankered that I can't even focus on the camera or indeed see that there's a camera in front of me, which yeah, that could be interesting. And next up, Andy says, just saying, getting lit and doing YouTube videos sounds like the life to me. Yeah, I mean, I certainly can't complain, although I often do, as is my God-given right as a grumpy British c***. Alok Orton Gaiman says, please bring tech news twice a week. I mean, yeah, that would make more sense to do a couple of news shows a week rather than just the one, because obviously this goes live on a Friday. A lot of the tech news happens sort of Monday, Tuesday, so by the point this actually goes out on YouTube, a lot of it is about as fresh as a Wetherspoon's bread roll. That said, I've got no idea when I would actually have the time to shoot this second show. I've already cut out sleeping, meals, quality family time. You know, all I got left really is working time and drinking time, and quite often I have to combine the two. Next up, I've got a cat. Hello, cat. Yes, that's a light. That's a camera. Next up, Neil says, you called me Nick when you read out my Dublin beer price comment. Oh, Christ. Sorry, mate. That's obviously just a stupid mistake. My eyes are utterly f***ed these days, to be perfectly frank. Bloody internet porn. Cosman King says, watching Techspert Weekly on the best seat in the house, the toilet. Yeah, multitasking for the win. Good job, sir. Definitely, yeah. Consuming a whole heap of shit while simultaneously expelling another. Keeps the whole universe in balance. Next up, Augustin says, hi Chris, I'm about to buy a Mi 11 Lite 5G NE. That's the new edition. Is it still a good choice? I see it's down to just over 300 quid on the Xiaomi website now, which is not a bad price at all. That's a really solid mid-range blower. So yeah, I'd say that's a respectable choice, definitely. GLC says, hello, any news on Nokia releasing a higher end smartphone this year? I mean, yeah, it's starting to get like hanging around waiting for George R. Martin to finally write another fucking book. It's getting kind of ridiculous, but surely this year we have to have a new one. Bugger all news so far, unfortunately. I'm not sure they're even planning on doing much at MWC. I certainly haven't heard anything from them, but you know, fingers crossed and all of that. Next up, Armchair Critic says, what's one gadget from the past that you would like to refine a little? Oh, I see. So it's basically reboot any device from the past and then sort of bring it up to date for now. The one that immediately leaps to mind is definitely the PS Vita slash PSP, because I really love those handheld consoles. Thought they were absolutely fantastic. Some great games on there, some really nice ideas, lovely design. It's just, yeah, it'd be lovely to have a fresh new PS Vita that you could actually like stream your PS5 games on, you know, wherever you went. You know, maybe you could download a mobile version of the game onto the PS Vita. You could pick up your progress wherever you went, because that would be bloody lovely. I love playing on the PS5, I've just got all time for it. And that's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to the Steam Deck when that emerges as well, because, you know, I've got all these PC games, so many games that I bought for like 40p in various Steam sales, and just never bloody had the time to install them. So, you know, finally be able to go back and do all that bit of Disco Elysium and all this stuff. But yeah, it'd be interesting to hear from you guys as well, actually, if you've got any, you know, proper awesome retro tech that you would love to see rebooted for 2022, definitely let me know those down below. Speaking of the Steam Deck, actually, Info Orange says, are you going to be trying out the Steam Deck? Yes, hopefully sooner rather than later, although my pre-order is still shown as releasing in Q2 2022, so I don't think I'll be one of the lucky sods who get it at the end of February. I was there desperately hitting Control R at, you know, 4 o'clock on the dot, whenever it was that the Steam Deck pre-orders went up, but unfortunately the website just kept crashing for me, and it took me 19 minutes, I think it was, to get my order in, by which point there were probably several tens of thousands of others already got in there before me. Brr. But yes, hoping to do a full review right here on TechSpert when I do actually eventually get one. Info Orange continues, on the subject of an anime show, could you mix it up with some non-anime TV shows? I don't really do anime, though I would definitely give a new Spurt channel a watch. Anyway, off to the bottle of Talisker that waits my attention. Again, I've got no idea when I would actually do this other channel, because I don't actually even have that much time to watch TV these days. I finally managed to smash my way through the season 4, I think it was, of Cobra Kai, which was of course as enjoyable as ever. Some serious 80s bangers in there from start to finish. Good to see the rich ponytail twat from Karate Kid 3 back in action as well. But yeah, anyway, I'm massively run out of time as usual, so let's make this the last one. Oliver says, 80s horror films, now you're talking. Have to mention the best of them all, The Thing, naturally. Good bit of John Carpenter action. Closely followed by The Evil Dead and The Evil Dead 2. Part 3 would get a mention, but it was 1992. Yeah, all absolute classics, of course. And of course, the best thing about the likes of The Thing and Evil Dead, the fact that you got those proper gruey physical effects as well. You know, probably quite small budgets in comparison to all the CG monstrosities that get released these days. I'm starting to sound like a proper old twat, aren't I? Oh, not as good as it was back in the day. Yeah, so good. And Evil Dead 3 as well, still got a very fond spot for that in my, you know, ice cold, rotten heart. And of course, Ash vs Evil Dead as well, fantastic TV series spin-off. So if you haven't checked that out, definitely do so. And I highly recommend the Bruce Campbell books as well, his biographies on Audible as well. You can grab them, he actually reads them himself. What a guy. What a dude. Anyhow, that's more than enough banging on. I'm massively out of time. I'm going to go unbox shed loads of stuff. So thank you to everyone who commented last week. Please do smash your comments down below more on 80s horror movies, gadgets you want to see rebooted from the past and all that good stuff. It'd be great to hear from you, and we'll smash through as many of those as possible next week. And speaking of next week, what the is next week? Well, we've got the Realme 9 Pro and Pro Plus launch happening on February the 16th, so I might have a couple of sneaky little videos coming out around then. Stay tuned. And then also, the Nubia Red Magic 7 gaming smartphone should be launching on February the 17th. Not 5 months since we had the Red Magic 6S Pro, of course, which I unboxed here on TechSpert. And leaks and rumours suggest that it will come back in that Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 chipset, hopefully for an affordable price still. You'll get some proper cooling tech, most likely involving a weird internal fan, and apparently 165 watt fast charging for the rather massive battery that's packed in there as well. So hoping to get my hands on that bad boy at some point too. I'll have a couple of other videos sneaking out next week as well, also under embargo, so I can't even give you a hint as to what they're about, but stay tuned for all of that. You want to not miss out on that, then subscribe, ding the notifications bell, which, you know, most of you made it this far almost certainly already have done, and God bless your strange little heads. And make sure you have a bloody wonderful weekend, and I will see you at the other side. Love you, bye!